What do you want to be when you grow up? It's a question every child is asked, and today from my icebreaker, I wanted to explain what I wanted to be when I was growing up, and how what I do today was not what I envisioned. First, I want to give you a little background about myself. I was born in 1987 in Queens, New York. I lived in Bayside, Queens for the first 5 years of my life. It's where I get my street cred. I then moved to Long Island, New York in Oyster Bay. It's home of Teddy Roosevelt and where Billy Joel likes to spend some of his time. I lived there for the rest of my life until I moved to Dallas a couple years ago, and I'll get to that later. The first time I remember being asked what I wanted to be when I grew up, was around 4th or 5th grade, and that was about the time that the internet was taking off. And I was always into computers, and I remember seeing pictures of myself when I was a baby on my grandfather's lap, typing on a computer. So when someone asked me that question at that time, it was always some kind of computer guy, something with the internet. It sounded way cooler at the time. That was my answer for a few years until I went to a Yankee game. So I was a Yankee fan, but I went to a game. We had really good seats. First section by the field, so we went early for batting practice. My favorite player at the time was Tino Martinez. He was taking batting practice, and I remember leaning over the dugout watching. And I see him taking batting practice. He took a bad swing. He cracked the bat on the handle a little bit. He's walking back to the dugout, all dejected. He looks at me and he says, "Hey, buddy," and he rolls the bat to me. Still have the bat to this day. I was literally in shock. Never been in shock before. It's unbelievable. So the next 5 or 6 years, when anyone asked me what I wanted to be for the rest of my life, wanted to be when I wanted to grow up, was play for the Yankees. I wanted to be a Yankee player. That was the case until about 10th or 11th grade when I realized scouts stopped coming to my games. And by stopped coming, I mean never showed up. So then I was in limbo, 11th, 12th grade. What am I going to do? Wound up going to college in Albany, pre-majored in business. Why? Not sure. I guess I figured guys just did business. Took my first accounting course, hated it, gravitated towards finance, became a finance major. Around sophomore year, I also got really into music. So when someone were to ask me at that time, what are you going to be when you grow up? I'm going to start a record label. I'm going to be a record label executive. Then I realized a couple months later that no one makes money in that business. Nixed that dream. Shortly thereafter, my friend had asked me if I wanted to join a co-ed business fraternity with him. It's as weird as it sounds. Nonetheless, we joined. It's a good resume builder, met new people. And one of the projects when you were pledging was to create a business plan and pitch an idea to investors, right? Which led me to my next answer of what are you going to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? That was a fashion mogul, right? Listen to this idea. My friend and I had the idea of a hybrid intersport jersey, right? Stay with me. Picture a Tony Romo, Dallas Cowboys basketball jersey. Picture Dirk Nowitzki, Dallas Mavericks football jersey. I know, you can calm down. Once we realized that you needed licensing for this stuff and design capabilities, which we didn't have, we gave up on that. But if anyone knows anyone and likes the idea, let me know. So junior year, it's 2008, still a business major, and the economy crashes. Not the best time to be a business major. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, what am I going to do? Probably going to go to business school, right? That was the plan until one Florida afternoon, visiting my grandfather in Boca Raton, having lunch, and my uncle, who's here right now, came up to me and started carrying out his diabolical plan to get me to come work for him in Dallas, Texas. Because I'm a junior in college, by the way. So he comes up to me and says, "What are your plans after college?" I say, "I'm going to go to business school." Step one of his plan was to convince me to go to law school. Basically, in a nutshell, said, "You're an idiot if you don't go to law school." He said, "Why do you want to go to business school?" I said, "Well, it's 2 years, law school's 3, I don't really want to be a lawyer." He said, "Look, you can still go to business if you go to law school. You can't go into law if you go to business school." So I was like, okay. Went to law school, thought about even doing a dual major or dual masters in business and law, but then they told me it was an extra year, so I said, no way. Second step of his diabolical plan was to get me to intern for him the summer going into my last year of law school. So going to my 3rd year. Wound up, okay, summer in Dallas, that's different, do that. Liked it, we got along. Third step of his 3-step plan, third step of his diabolical plan was to offer me a job. Gave me 6 months to decide. So I went back to New York. I started school again. I was working at a firm, and I had to weigh my options. I could stay in New York, maybe have this job, maybe not, get paid less and live at home. Come to Dallas, have a job, make more money, no income tax, live by myself in an apartment with a pool. Came to Dallas, May 2012. Came to Dallas in May of 2012. Studied for the bar, which is the worst thing ever. Took the bar, which is the second worst thing ever. Started work August 2012. Became a lawyer November 2012 when I passed the bar. Here I stand before you, a lawyer of about a year and a half. I'm grown up now, so in conclusion, thank you for letting me tell you the heroic tale of a boy who overcame the trials and tribulations of failing to become a professional baseball player, the next Bill Gates, a record label executive, and a fashion mogul, only to become an attorney in Dallas, Texas, something I never would have answered when someone asked me the question of what do you want to be when you grow up. Thank you.